So, I don't know.
So are you pulling them out?
Huh?
Are you pulling them out?
No. Nope. No, I will not, unless, like I told the neighbors, I will pull someone out if I know them. But then the people I know have enough up here that they won't go on the dirt road. So, I don't.
You know what it is?
Pardon?
It's the maps on cell phones.
Well, those are kind of wrong, I think. But see, I don't deal with any of that. I got my old little flip phone and that's about it. Got a computer in the house, but that's for my wife, and that's,
Yeah,
I
I understand.
got an iPad to watch the cameras in the cabin barns, but that's about all I got. Pretty simple.
Remind me. We'll talk, yeah. I just wanted to remind you that. Yeah, they know about it.
I don't
I don't know how it's gonna be, it might have to be. We have to go separate. I'll let you know. Cause that will have to be posted by Wednesday. Well, Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Or you know.
See, they got the speed limit signs up.
Yes, on the north side of 30. Yep, it ain't slowing them down.
Didn't think it would.
What, you know, I'll
You gotta
go
go squad car
straight till the pledge, and then if you let me talk for a couple minutes, because I gotta go to the courthouse and the ASCS office. So it's almost time for the pledge of allegiance anyhow.
Yeah, it's about 2 minutes. You know, if somebody has an accident. If somebody has an accident,
Yeah, I know.
they're not dead.
Just so it isn't me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, should we let him get at it?
Sure.
You know his way?
Okay. Thank you for putting them signs up. The only reason I stopped by, if we could get some kind of law enforcement when it gets drier out. That's, when it gets dry out, watch out. Now when it's like this, no, because people can't, it's hard for them to drive on wet roads. But just, if we could, that's my biggest concern. And yes, Gary, I do know that they're gonna close the roads, I understand with Myron talking to Terry Alch. Myron is also working with Dustin from the DOT for putting signs up on the detour going into Keystone and that way. So, but there's still a lot of traffic, truck traffic. I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday, it was raining, maybe, I don't know, one of those days. So I just sat in my pickup from 10:30 until about 2 o'clock. And it was unbelievable how much Chicago Northwestern trucks, the rail trucks, Darling and Company, not the it's a rendering service, but the big boom trucks on them, and everything else. Grain trailers, bull racks. It was Friday, that's what it was, because Thursday I took a bale of hay up to my place, which is north of 30, pulled out, nobody behind me, got up by the farmstead next, and here comes a van, was going east on the tractor, and right before I got to the top of the hill there, guess what? He passed me. Nebraska plates, like a carpenter, something like that. Now, if somebody was coming over the hill, who would have been in the middle of it? Probably me on an open tractor. So, no, if we just could get some patrolmen out there.
I met with the sheriff last Wednesday. I give him the map and everything, so he's got copies of what we did.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
He's got copies of it.
Boy, when it gets dry out, do people travel? And they're moving, because you probably asked me how I know they're speeding. See, I'll do 35 mile an hour, and here comes a vehicle behind you, and they catch you within no time whatsoever. So,
That's the whole point I made last week or two is you can post it, but if it's not enforced, it doesn't do any good.
and if they do enforce it, and the word, like we talked before, word gets out, that simplifies a lot of things.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of heavy truck traffic.
I noticed yesterday when I was over there that there ain't no gravel on the road.
Yeah.
It's all smooth. It's like a blacked out road.
Okay,
Clean.
you know where I live at, Gary, north of 30. And then you go toward 21. Just sometime look at that when you pull up 21, you can't travel that gravel road no more for the first 60, 70 feet, just full of potholes and all the gravel's pulled on 21.
Yeah, I
So-
noticed that too.
Yeah.
So, let's say, well, is the state gonna blacktop that? Does anybody know?
Boil it? Boil it, not like.
They're doing it. Because I talked to Dustin. Dustin called me, and with the first conversation I had, I always oiled my road for years. And he just wanted to double check with me if it's okay to put their stuff right over. I said, absolutely. But yes, they are 300 feet. They're even doing the cemetery right west of me. Because the maintainer man, Grant, was up there doing all, maintaining, but guess what? Then it rained and now the road is, there are a lot of potholes in there.
Yeah, it needs to be graded before we oil it.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. But I've done my road for years in front, and it's in good shape. You do it so many years, 20, 25, 30 years, it's in good shape.
So where do you actually live? Right west of the cemetery or right east of the cemetery?
First place, east of the cemetery, yep, south side of the road. Or north side of the road,
Okay.
where the Hereford cattle are at. You didn't notice them. And then the next place on the north side, that's Terry Ulch's farmstead. Then you keep going east, is Schwab's, all the way up to a mile, and that's it on the road.
So it's Schwab's that's right north of the gravel that goes north, or goes north from 30.
That's where Terry lives.
Yeah.
In that new house and big machine shed, and his son lives right west of him, right east of me, like 120 yards.
And I talked to Terry last night.
You did?
Yeah, somebody was talking to him and I come up behind.
Were you in a little pickup? That was me talking to him. Because I asked him who needs access to the dirt road furthest to the south by the Irving Cemetery.
Yeah, it's Tom Jansen.
Tommy Jantz and Schwab's, because everybody else can get off the gravel there. They don't have any entrance on the dirt road to farm. But no, I seen you last night. Yeah, so that was me talking to him.
I looked for you, but I couldn't find you.
Well, I pulled in my driveway and fed the cattle at my place, and
You were probably taking equipment back or something.
yeah, so, no. So that's the only reason I stopped up, guys.
Okay.
The problem is on 21, at that intersection that's west of your place,
Mm-hmm.
it's not, there's another farmstead. This is 21. Here's the intersection going east.
Yep,
There's a house here.
yep. Colleen Baldings.
So they gotta let her in there.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise they could just block this road off. I'll bet you there's people going down there and turning around.
Oh, Gary, that's why you see people come on 21, and they go all the way down the barricade, turn around, and they zip up past my house. You see a lot of that way.
It's too bad that they can't close that off.
That's what you gotta talk to Myron about. And I know Myron is dealing with Dustin, and he's the head guy from Marshalltown over this project.
I think it's Ames.
Might be, I talked to him, but this guy told me he's from Marshalltown. Maybe he is dealing with the guy in Ames now. I don't know, but Dustin said he was talking to Prezek, because he couldn't remember his first name, because he kept saying Prezek. So. But no, I have to go to courthouse, I have to go to ASCS office, so I thought, well, heck, might as well stop up here. But I won't be up here again. No, I start back to work Monday,
Okay.
so I gotta go plant seed corn if it ever straightens out. So, thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
yeah. And
Just came in today to get approval to hire Benton as one of my storage truck drivers. The only difference that I wanted to discuss with you guys as a group was we did not get any other applicants at that time than Luke, and he had requested a little bit higher wage, and I discussed that with Kirsten to see if that was a possibility. And we kind of tried to meet in the middle from where he was wanting to be and where we had ended up last time I talked to you guys. So with your permission, I'd like to hire him at $23 an hour.
And we had him
I think the top that you guys had authorized me to do was 21. And unfortunately, we hadn't received any applicants. Kirsten and I ended up putting the job out on Corridor Careers, and we did get one other applicant now. I do intend on interviewing him. I believe he's qualified to do it, assuming that, you know, there isn't any confusion about what the job is and stuff like that. But that was my what I was bringing in today for you anyway.
Hemmings does have his CDL.
Yeah, he has a Class A
He
CDL.
drove in the past, right?
Yeah, he's
driven
been
quite a
here
few years for you.
5.
Yeah.
This will be, because he started in 2017, so this is year 5, 6, something like that. So yeah, and unfortunately, everywhere I've looked now, that people are just paying more and more for CDL operators, and to be completely honest with you, I think we're probably lucky to get somebody at that, as much as it's kind of hard to believe it's gone up that much, but
Ben, how are you, man? Pretty
how
good.
are you?
Not bad.
You need formal action to approve it.
Yeah, that's what I was coming in for today, was you'd have to,
Prior.
I make a motion that we go ahead and authorize the pay increase for the part-time.
You're okay with that in your budget then?
yeah, I've got enough to cover it. It's anymore, the guys used to work, April through November, and that's how I had budgeted for it. And with how busy he is with his cattle anymore, I think he's basically gonna come and help us spray, and that's kind of the extent of what he's wanting to do. So with the decreased hours, even with the wage increase, I got more than enough to cover it there. I guess we'll have to see kind of where we end up, when I interview this other guy and see kind of what his expectations are and stuff on it, but.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, guys. We, just as a heads up, I had intended on starting spraying now, but with the way this weather is, I think we're gonna try to maybe start in the next week and a half if things cooperate. But we'll kind of see how it goes. Hopefully we'll straighten out otherwise.
In the meantime, if I'm reading things correctly, or if I understand correctly, you'll still run 2 trucks, but
Yeah.
Either you or Wes will be driving.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because Jovis did go and get his pesticide applicator's license, so as of right now, we do have enough staff to run both trucks. So it's just, Wester I'll have to drive and he'll have to spray. So that's where I'm hoping if we can get this second guy on, at least then we'll open up where the manager can actually do what I hired him for too.
Right.
But we'll just have to see kind of how things turn out. So,
Yep.
But, cool.
thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Stay dry, man.
Hold on,
Sure,
I'll
too.
look here, I'll hold the minute.
And
I look
wait, it's
forward
like
to
next
seeing
week,
you.
now they're talking about
Okay.
30 to 50%.
All in favor of the minute?
Sales.
You still have 30 seconds, you wanna do the carryover?
I don't care.
Yep.
I think she emailed you guys, though, right?
She did.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
got it.
one initial.
Make the motion that we authorize the carryover. Did you see that?
I emailed it, but she emailed it to him, so.
That didn't answer my question.
Oh, yeah.
Second?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay.
This should be pretty short. City of Garrison has a property that is abandoned, and they have filed a petition, and that's what I'm here for. The time has come for it to be set for hearing. They would like us to just consent to the property being abandoned so that they can get title of it. It's a house that was probably built in the late 1800s that was hasn't been inhabited for some time, and then it was arsoned, I believe, late last year. So there's not much left of it. They'd like to get title to the property, see if they can't get it cleaned up and do something with it. And so by consenting to the entry of the order, you folks would be basically waiving the past taxes. I spoke with Melinda. She said there's not much, there are no special assessments. But that's what we're here to ask for today, just to give me authority to tell them, yes, it's okay, get title to the property, try to clean it up and do something.
It definitely needs cleaned up.
So it's abandoned?
No, it's part of the ground.
It was abandoned, and they were already in proceedings with the owner, property owner, and then it went up in smoke one night.
It's a mess over there, and it's a hazard.
So this is a kind of a no-brainer.
I'll make the motion that we do approve that.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
They are looking for volunteers, Rick. I can tell them you'll be over there to win. I mean,
Yeah.
when it dries up, of course, but.
Yeah, of course.
All right, folks, thank you.
Thank you.
I think I know some neighbors over there that would volunteer. This loan agreement was just an FYI, isn't
Yes, they brought
it?
it
That's
to
what I
me,
thought.
because you guys already approved it.
Yeah, we already approved
It was
it.
just signed and I gave you a copy.
Yeah, thank you.
Scott Hansen asked me to put number 10 on. Patty Barnes, so she
Sure.
signed that agreement.
Yeah.
So if you guys approve and authorize your signature, we'll get that done.
Alright. Sure that it don't have no price or anything. Nope.
Just for the town.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this for?
Just giving us permission to get on her ground to start the survey in and
For the tower.
check for the artifacts and everything where we're gonna put the tower. This is not the lease agreement yet, because we haven't had a meeting yet on how much. I made an offer to her 3 weeks ago.
How's that tower site coming down at Norway, anything?
It's in Des Moines at Chippo. You don't know. Could take up to 6 months.
And when did you apply to SHPO?
April 4th.
Is that gonna cause any problems down the road?
Once they give it, if they give us a variance, no.
But let's say they wait 6 months and then say,
Yeah, then we're back at square one down there. About finding another place or somebody that's willing to lease or sell us an acre on a hill somewhere around there.
it's 1 acre.
They want 1 acre, but they don't use that much. They want to take that.
And then,
I make a motion to approve and authorize your signature, Jim.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We all gotta sign it, guys.
Okay.
I like that.
You did? Oh, usually if they ask, I get correction. Well, so true. Sorry. Alright, then I have those taxes on, since we're talking tower stuff,
Okay.
from Raycom we talked about last week.
Yeah,
So I did a resolution if you were willing to abate those.
yeah.
Code 445.63. There's 2 parcels, one was for $794 and the other one was $309, and that includes penalty and interest. And that was just the second half of the waiver. But in the contract and stuff, it did state we were,
All the time.
there's that.
Okay.
You approved.
And I'll make the motion that we do abate those.
Okay,
Second.
you guys wanna take a look at it or no?
By resolution.
Remember,
Appreciate God.
Team and I,
This is the property
tower,
with the tower.
what they call Rogers.
Yeah, I don't see it. I've read that in the agreement prior to,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Well, you got it, Gary, sign it. With the rest.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
We got our quote from Ike Bailey,
Yes,
so, and he's given us two options. To renew for 3 years or the 5 years.
any big difference?
Not really, I mean, they didn't go up very much in cost. Because 3 years was gonna be between $2,000 and $3,000 difference, I'll let you look.
You mean higher?
Yeah, if we only went with 3 years. They kind of spread it out if you go.
How many years have we used them?
Quite a while, but they have different main ones.
Because
When I started, we had,
been on
yeah,
the board for 5 and
yep,
to my knowledge, using all
I
that
think she'll
time.
always use them. There's quite a few counties that use this company. It's either some of these private firms or you have the state auditor. They're familiar with our reports and stuff, it's just kind of nice.
I would
A lot of it they
suggest
can do
go 5
remote.
year plan. There's quite a bit of savings there.
Is there?
Over a 5-year plan, you know, if you compare it, you get it. I've been really happy with it, you know what I mean? Yeah, the cut took it more than yesterday. Get everything else better. Supposed to bring the air compressor off, up, blow everything off, and then when it dries up, you can feel the crack, yep. And I'm hoping they can get that other port tomorrow.
I would follow your recommendation, recommend that we do take that, that's my motion, to do a 5-year contract.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, one place where they're going now. You gotta go down.
But just look at the rates on them per year, and then overall, they're pretty much the same.
They ain't gotta go down.
We got, the public hearing.
That's 6 minutes, you have enough time to do 7.
Yeah, let's just discuss number 7, because I numbered the resolutions for after, so. But for the ARPA.
Yeah.
So I did just get Ben's updated quote.
Okay, but higher.
It was 60 something before, wasn't it? It's 81, 620, so just from last night. So I'm gonna pass around, there's 2 different versions of a resolution. So the first reporting was due last week, so what I had to do is choose that we were taking it all as revenue loss, because anybody that had 10 million or less could just flatly say they're stating it as revenue loss, then it opened it up how we can use it on government services. Some of those bigger counties, over the 10 million, they have to do others. They have to break it out more, so it's kind of explaining it in these. But then there was one option where we're gonna try to list out some of the projects that we wanna allocate specifically.
That's kind of what I was looking
So some of those I do have set prices, some of them were still kind of lingering, so I could fill in later, or
Waiting for some of those numbers.
or just leave the numbers and we'll just put as, because you're still gonna ultimately approve those claims as I get them. We'll still do those separate, but, so. Pass these around each, and look at the two different versions. Because some of those, like Lexa and I were still getting some quotes, which I just received another quote for that imaging from the same people that did our website. He wanted a chance to bid on it too, so he just sent me that last night. So I'll show you guys that. It's kind of interesting for sure.
for. Some are the same, you got two of the same, and these are two of the same.
Oh, yeah.
You have one more.
Gary.
I have 3 and 3, John.
Yep,
Thank you.
you did good. That's yours.
Here's,
This one's yours.
here's one of those. It kind of just shows them what we're talking about, if you want to read through it. That's that other third company one.
Oh, okay. Give me a second, I want to go with what Ben's was. No. Well, that's for everything.
Yeah, wasn't it like 70?
Yeah, it was 72.
Yeah, so now, because that was a little old.
And that was in August, if I remember right, of last year.
And this morning I gave the maintenance department all the floor plans of the courthouse because they have, somebody coming for the boiler stuff.
Okay,
And then,
you got them to come then,
yep, so
Cool.
I gave them the floor plans and they have to mark out on there
Yep.
what all it does.
okay?
They were talking, it might even wanna be buried outside, everything.
No,
Okay. Is that
that's
something
my
that they
opinion,
do?
no, yeah.
That's what
no.
Rick was questioning, if that would cause problems like with rain and
Yep.
the groundwater
Yep.
and stuff. So
No,
that's something he can discuss later, but at least he's moving forward.
yep, yep.
Which for your sake too, if anybody does
Very good.
need to
Okay.
see these, I have all those scanned documents
Okay.
from the courthouse layout, and then we had other times where we did the window project too. So everything's
If I
scanned.
remember right, then we, at our meeting, Thompson was gonna go ahead and send
And I
it in.
listed that
Okay,
specifically.
okay,
So the ones that we had the amounts for sure, I have in there.
Okay.
But some of those other ones, I thought maybe we tweak it and say, will be committed at a later date. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I didn't put the full amounts in some of those, but
okay,
I just got that, so we can do the wiring here.
okay,
We can add amount in, but with this,
yeah,
at
Yep.
least we could, to be
Well-
announced or something on there, and then we could, because you're gonna still approve it in the minutes for separate.
yeah, we are, but I just thought you're being
Transparent, yeah.
anybody in the county where we got this money, even though it's tax dollars, but yet it's not tax dollars.
Oh, and another good
Where
note,
did it come from?
it's the.
They
state
local tax dollars.
Oh, and another note, we're gonna be getting, you know, that opioid
Right.
thing, we're gonna get 400,000.
Really?
I just got notice on that.
Okay, we sent that to,
That's been,
David was in charge of that, we gave him permission.
well, we did that resolution quite a while ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I'm not sure,
Wasn't it?
no,
Wasn't
no,
it's only been a few years.
yeah, wasn't that long ago.
But we
Not even a
signed
year.
the resolution and
Maybe a
submitted
year
it.
ago.
Well,
We will.
that was the second part of it, but we
Okay.
did a resolution prior.
Okay.
So I don't know what the specifics on where we deposit and what the usage could be for, but we're gonna be getting 400,000. So that's basically, we weren't out in there to begin with, we were participating, so So
And what will that money be used for?
that's what I'm not sure what, if we have to create a new fund for that, or if it's just can go in our general fund. And he just come out with the ruling on the amounts last week. I can send you the list if you want, to see what other towns have to do.
And I should will find funds for it.
So, okay, we better start our public hearing.
Yep, I've heard from nobody regarding it, other than the news media asked me to send them the document that they put with my minutes, so. And that is the resolution to go with it. I know I gave you guys copies of it before, but if you wanna look. I'm very too excited to.
It's awful, I got complaints, it's awful small in the paper.
I can't help
I
that.
know.
The only one concern I did have is after that, CDBG paper, you know, that lady that came in and did her. Last week, the past through, I might have to make sure we have trucks getting in her area too.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to make it work between service areas, again, within service area, not by publication. We can do that by board's action, by resolution. I showed the revenue bond.
Yeah, I see that, that's fine. Question though is, which category is the sheriff under for his gas?
Public safety, number one, service area.
Public safety?
Mhm.
Okay.
I have the different line items that he had me written
Okay.
down. You know, look. Here's all the different journal entries I'm gonna have to get
Okay.
on this.
Okay.
So, between those lines, some we gave some to, some we took from other line items, so
Okay.
overall, that's what he's asking us.
Wow, that's mainly where public safety comes in then.
Pretty much.
Well, we're gonna, okay, all right.
And like I said, if we have to amend between areas later, like depending on where we're using ARPA too,
Yep,
at the time, I just had to put it somewhere, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it says. And then the parking lot would be, that's capital projects and stuff.
all right. You just gotta get spending authority
Yeah,
on that,
yeah.
pay it, because it's all come, majority of it's coming back.
Correct.
I did not know that, mental health, that gets paid through council tax.
Is that just there?
Yeah. You would put that.
Well, Jones County was on this budget.
Oh, really?
They kind of take, I don't know that you don't know. Not how reason, but they have way more staff.
So,
You can keep it.
keep your hand down.
Yep.
It's time to call through.
Exactly. Yeah, so that has to be paid too. That's right.
Okay, well, I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
And second.
Public hearing is now closed.
And just approve the resolution and then those areas.
That's by resolution.
Yeah. Motion to approve the areas of the budget amendment.
All in favor by resolution?
Primer, aye.
Freeman, aye. Signing ready?
Yeah.
Right.
That budget sheet doesn't have signature for it.
No,
I got a lot more to see. All these are done online now.
yep,
So we'll check that.
that is correct.
once I go in here and adopt it, it'll turn out a page confused.
I'll get back to
Yeah.
yeah, which one do you guys like? What's your opinion? There's two different ways to publicize it. Is that the same number? You assign to both of them?
Because that's the same total,
Right.
we're not gonna exceed that for the one.
Right.
But then the one I put, we don't exceed the two, so half. So we can do it.
What's your opinion?
We keep it simple, like the main one,
Yeah.
and then approve them as we go, the projects, and specifically state them in motion.
Let's see, this one is a simpler one. The other one where you're listing is the other. I like this.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I like the one where you're listing everything.
I don't mind listing them, but, you know, you didn't have to list everything.
And that's kind of why I want to keep those separate motions too. You know, we approve claims, but then kind of keep them a folder with copies of the checks, everything specific, because I have here these, there'll be open records requests when it's done.
Right. And, you know, of course, on the one that's got listed, there's some unknowns in here. And I really don't like unknowns if you're gonna list them. Because, you know, that's just a,
Easier to go back after.
well, once you've got numbers, you can,
At least this is explaining to you two that are on our ARPA board to see kind of what projects our committee's coming up with.
right, and this is not 2.9 million listed.
Yeah.
Here, obviously, you know, it's only about 1,000.
Well, the 2 million for radios listed, but
Well, oh yeah, that's true.
that for
You know,
sure was
there's a couple.
committed.
Everything else there is way under. You still
But
have
like our,
funds to go.
But that ain't everything yet. I
No.
can show you guys.
Oh, I get it.
yeah, I mean, now's the time to give them some updates, I think,
Yeah.
if you want.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've had what, 2 meetings and, you know, not the part here lately, so.
Yeah. Yeah, we got plenty of time. All right, I'll start at the beginning here. Shelby, he wants $6,661 for the cable and a bigger parking lot, up to the chain property. 6,600.
Okay.
You know,
Okay, to do cable,
a cable and post in there for a parking lot, gravel. Where's that at? The Shane property, that 160 that they bought,
So, North Henry County.
only 6,000. 6,000.
6,000.
6,600.
Okay, wait,
No,
I wrote it.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's probably 6,600.
I did.
Yeah, or 66,000.
66,000, I'm thinking.
No, he's got the bigger one still coming in.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Breaking in.
some of these though,
Yeah.
she's gonna get some grants for those,
Yeah.
well, she thinks.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? First is for the cable and post and gravel, 6,661.
61, okay.
Yeah. Doing Hoffman on that project, what they're digging out, I just met with them yesterday on that. She's gonna want $56,000 for that.
What's that all gonna be used for?
They're digging the bank out and putting riprap in it. They're doing a road anymore.
Yeah, I talked to a fellow that has different viewpoints on that.
So.
But it's not definitely doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Wildcat, where they want a shower house and a bathroom. They do not have, all they got is a pit toilet up there and that's it. And that ballpark figure is 200,000. Okay, that's shelter.
This is out at the building also.
No, this is Wildcat.
Wildcats.
Okay. Haley, she wants 40 to 60,000 to copy or download or whatever you want to call
Well,
it.
it's the scanning of the images.
Yeah.
You pass them that one example that'll kind of show you that neopology, that bigger one. So Lexa and I both want to have our old real estate records, transfer books scanned. I want to do your supervisor books, and there's old record books downstairs. And then in the end, it'll be a searchable document, like they'll house this database
So
offsite.
this is for yours and her office?
Well,
Just her.
well, that one part is mine, but
That
Lexa's is
part
gonna
is
be a little
hers.
more.
Hers, okay.
But I think we have appraisers, we have abstractors, people that come into our courthouse constantly looking through that stuff. So I think it'll be good to have archived for, for future, and what if we had a fire and those books weren't? I mean, and originally when it had to be for COVID, if we were working from home or somebody was remoting in because we didn't want to give them access to our records, they can go online and do some searches. That's kind of where we started with that one.
Okay, now we come to Lexi. Lexi, she's got two different bids, and they're kind of different, ain't they? What they're gonna do. One's gonna do more, but moral story is, the expensive one is 219,000, and the cheap way is 105,000. And, we're leaving that up to Lexi which way to go.
Wasn't it, the difference was, I think some of the how it housed it.
Yeah,
I'm not for sure, but
yeah. And then, am I going too fast?
Got it.
Okay. Then IT, which just give me the updated for the courthouse, new cables and everything, is 81,620.
So we almost need that if we're gonna do this other stuff, or do this other stuff. Like,
Which part you're talking about, the cable or the copy?
okay,
that's probably just done regardless, because
Yeah.
our wiring is old.
Okay, and then as also the last other thing was, he wants to put a new system into Byron's out there. A ballpark figure of 7,000 for that. Now, we'll have to build a small room or closet upstairs, to keep the main range of the computer or whatever in the clean outlet now. Stress-free environment.
yeah.
Did I say that right?
I think as well as cool.
Okay, yeah. Want me to continue or should we jump to Myron? I only got 3 left. All right, bring it on. David Thompson, the county attorney, he's gonna go with new software that he'll be able to, with the software, talk to the other counties around here. As for trials or whatever, which I think that's a good thing. Rick and maintenance, now that's kind of the big.
Well, you never said how much.
Oh, excuse me, 45,410.
He's gonna go ahead and get that.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Courthouse.
Yeah, Rick and maintenance. He was thinking a new generator, that's 110,000. And then I suggested one thing I like to see done is get the windows to the east side of the courthouse down low in the basement that's screwed up, closed up, period, cemented up. And I figured that's about 7,500, where we had the frozen pipe this winter, we'll fix it right. And the other thing that he is getting bids on is for a new boiler. I think that's important. That boiler is old. Sure. Very old.
But he's getting quotes.
Yes, we don't have that yet, so he did not have any price on what that's gonna be. Dean and transportation. You get this 5,000 for new gutters on the new building over here. Generator, 10,300 for a generator. And also to put some concrete approaches out going in the big doors, 12,250. And that's it so far as for kind of somewhat numbers on the wish list.
So we can do any or all these.
Have you done a total on any of that?
No, I haven't yet. No, I haven't.
And there'd be some variables that get that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think, my opinion, I feel like the boiler system is old, and they have done, I mean, it was a coal boiler system, and they added up to a natural gas. Yep. Myron, we'll get back with you now.
A little over 6 months ago, hired an employee at Secondary Roads, Jamie Keane, with all due employees, October 22nd to be exact. They are entitled to a pay increase based on the party union contract after 6 months. Based on what his starting salary is and where that position pays after a year, his pay rate would increase to $22.42. And 6 month date would be April 22nd. So resolution here to move that pay increase to $22.42 effective April 22nd.
Make that motion that we authorize that. Approve it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All resolution? Okay.
Bremer, aye.
Your state aye.
Seaman, aye.
You're right here, my email says that
Really?
Yeah.
Send me an email?
No. Not sure, I'll get it all with, but
Oh,
I have an email.
that one. Okay. That was a lot to read, that's why I thought I'd send it to you. We have that one later.
I'm thanking them for the.
Thank you, sir.
You don't have to set it up, this was pretty short.
Should be,
Oh, yeah, you did just send it.
should be in your box,
I see
but
it
you
now.
can type it if you prefer.
Nope, I'm fine.
The other item on the agenda, last week, I think it was, Gary, you mentioned to Doug Kozik about gates. You mentioned it before, I think, was 2 weeks ago. Sorry, but, 11th Avenue, King Township, between 72nd Street and 73rd Street, and 72nd Street Drive that runs through the middle of that road, that, Terry Olds and Doug Cusack Farm, the south half mile. Terry Olds, Terry Swab, and Tanner Swab, this is a farm, most of that, north Creek, I think. That owns part of that, they access the field, offloads and rock. They would like to pursue putting gates up on those 2.5 mile segments. In order to change that from a level B to a level C, you need to hold a hearing. So we need to set a date here in the near future, a date and time that we can publish, get through all of them, and they need to include a few of the neighbors. And Terry also talked to the tower company that has a cell tower on that, and they're all aware of this coming, and there's how they have any opposition to that. So I'm not sure what your agenda is look like here. Probably at least 3 weeks out, if you put that in your paper. I think that falls into that 420 rule. It was 4 days in advance, but not more than 20.
Tower on that dirt road, is that like a steel structure or is it a wooden? Can you remember? I can't remember. It's steel?
And steel.
It is. Okay, that's been in space. They just took the one last Thursday out of Hayloft by the roof. All going.
Knowing this property owner has talked to them numerous times, they haven't expressed anything to him about doing anything about it.
Okay, every from the
Well, but there's,
phone company, I don't know if they got bought out or what the deal is, but
I believe that tower has spring coverage on it that's been bought out by T-Mobile. Sounds like there has been inquiries about putting other stuff on the tower. So I don't foresee it disappearing.
There's a bridge on that North Dirt Road, right by where the detour goes around. And, I was down there last night. It's in bad shape, there's farmers going to go across it this after. And go around. I don't know if you know anything about that.
I haven't looked it all up yet. I went on the phone this morning with Terry Schwab just to confirm that the north half mile should be included in this.
So what do you have for a date here? 24th? It's 3 weeks out.
No, but at the time,
You said 3 weeks, right?
I said at least 3 weeks, that way.
if you have to get it to.
If you have to get it to the newspaper, I mean, I'd say we couldn't do it earlier than 3 weeks.
What do you want on the 31st?
I do not, or at least I won't be here on the 31st or the 32nd, whatever, 32nd, first, I don't know. Got a week, I'm wedding that weekend, so I know that Tuesday the 24th, I'm fine, but probably from about the Wednesday to Wednesday, I think I'm offering my time. So,
Probably if we get the notice, we can have it in paper, I'd try to, that would be,
I hate to push it out to
that's
To
19
June.
days exactly away to the 24th.
I was thinking
And then
3
you
weeks of
have-
cars being stuck on the dirt road like the weather today, so sooner the better.
That's
from the
right.
standpoint of that concern, I understand that, with the fact that the DOT is gonna do construction work on the south end of the dirt road, that's Highway 30. I don't know where you put that gate up, immediately, that's not gonna be in the way. Secondary road is an issue, to put the gate up twice, I'll tell you that much. I know that the two property owners on that have discussed it amongst themselves, possibly, around 30,000. But certainly when they're doing the work on that road, they'll have, the contractor will have closed due. That county doing it might be July.
Yeah, is it
This Tracy, before they start on the north side of that
Hello?
Gary?
Yes, yes, I wanted, trying to get hold of Gary.
Gary's right here.
Oh,
Hello, Gary, this is Jeff Benton. I called you a couple of weeks ago
yeah,
about my road.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you get my messages I sent you there last week, or in the pictures, or not?
No, I didn't.
My phone don't work half the time any damn way, so I sent you some pictures and stuff. Well, I guess whenever it dries out, I'm supposed to get, dust treatment. But, these roads out here, they're terrible. I mean, with this rain, I got a rain day today. If you'd have some time to come out to my house, I'd drive you around a little bit and show you some of the concerns I got. But,
Okay.
yeah, we got a culvert right up the road. There's a big chunk of the road on the shoulder of the road out. Somebody's gonna drive in that one these days. Or something ain't took care of it right around my neighbor's house. But yeah, if you wanna come out today sometime, I got a rain day, so I can actually drive you around and show you some of my little concerns I got.
Okay.
But
I can do
yeah, I
that.
sent some pictures. I didn't know where you got them or not. So, but yeah, my address is 3253 52nd Street Drive.
3253.
52nd Street Drive. Yeah, I got a big black mailbox in front of my house with if your children live here, slow down or something sign on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I should be home the rest of the day. Or if you had a certain time, you let me know. And
What's your phone number?
940 531 8916.
Okay. 940-531-8916.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll call you after lunch.
Okay, that would be great. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, sir.
You bet.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's set this thing for one course. I'm gonna be out of town, but I think it's more important that Byron's here.
You know, say like 9:30 then? Or later, 10?
Let's do it later, just depending on what all pops up. Looking back, see what all needed to do. I think the last one we did was for Elmer Lowe's daughter. I think we did that, and with the hearing that we set at that time for 10-ish, I think, the agenda got filled up, and I had other things to do at 11:30 on that day.
Oh, okay.
I spent most of my day.
So you want to do 10?
So yeah, I would rather move it just a little bit later in the morning and hope that
Okay. Well,
plenty to keep.
I'll just say leave enough time so that you have other items to do also.
Sure you don't wanna get it out of the way first thing?
I don't care. I mean, that's another option, I guess.
We can just put a half hour that way. We do have other stuff. We won't put timed items there and we usually have other things to fill in.
Well, you could move it around too, you know what I mean?
Right, that date.
See whatever, yeah, see whatever comes
Yeah.
and say, you know, like you said, if it's 10 or 10:30, having the last thing, because
But the time and
But
date.
you have to
Yes.
advertise it.
That's
So
where we
have to
can't
set
move
that
that,
date.
so I could move the other thing around that.
If you don't have much for that day, you're gonna drag this thing way out. It's kinda like today.
you know,
Likely you have enough.
I would
to do an
say
hour.
10 o'clock is pretty easy,
Yeah.
you know.
if people wanna come one way or another.
I'd put it in about 10.
Okay.
What's the date on this?
24th.
4th at 10 a.m.
We don't have no land or anything that day at this time.
You need to, the motion on that and stuff.
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll set that public hearing for the 24th of May at 10 a.m.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So I'll put public hearing for classification change. What do you want me to list the roads specifically, or
Just get
just
that.
road classification change?
Just like you did there, that's what we did. We did a mile and a half, 5-6 years ago. 14th Avenue Drive, basically where the underpass is, between Bell Plain and Luzerne. You go straight north of that underpass, it's all level D road, now level C. The Lowe's had asked to do that. Basically a similar deal here where we set 4 gates. It was a mile and a half of dirt with a rock road that intersected in between. Everybody did that as 14th Avenue Drive, and Leroy Township, I think, or Iowa Township.
You're gonna actually need 8 gates then.
Yeah, 2 on each road. Well, I'm counting each gate as simply as one, I guess. You know, 2 so many gates.
And you'll send that notice to the regional.
I say, everything I have, or I just need to tweak my template for this specific location, and then
So at least we get it in Friday, so that's 19 days, and then we have leeway on the other. Or even, I guess, we can even schedule next week.
with that project, and as was reported by the residents, and been out there to see if the DOT has changed signage at 70th Street, Highway 21 yet or not, to try to convince more traffic to go on Mark detour. It does sound like a few speed violations may have been written by the sheriff's office over the weekend on the unmarked detour that we posted 35 miles an hour here.
Yeah.
Rumor has it, and I was talking with a resident this morning out there that said he had heard that rumor, so I don't know. So I'm assuming that if the rumor is true, then word will be out that we did not have enough signs to put up the whole area, but I'm expecting other signs showing up this week, and that we will get those 35-mile-an-hour speed limits on the posts south of 30, north of 30.
I think once you get all those up, if you'd let the sheriff know, please.
Yeah, you can tell it's getting a lot of traffic. On the north side anyway.
You have the sheriff, your map last Wednesday, right? So.
I meant to, I somehow forgot about that meeting. Or last Tuesday, I was gonna give it to him. The ARPA meeting.
Okay. He wasn't there anyway.
I got involved with some other stuff, and Shelby had some questions on conservation. I ended up with her afterwards and went over her questions and realized I had got all of that and was gonna bring it that day. Get it.
Yeah, no, I brought it, I gave it over to you.
Just so you know, the dairy south of Morristown is putting in a new parlor this fall. And they're gonna put it west of the dairy. They're gonna put it where their silage was down before. They're gonna move their silage pile east of the dairy. It's gonna be, there's a building down there. I don't know if you've been down there. There's a building east of the gravel road. That's where their silage pile's gonna go this fall. Which I told them yesterday. The roads down there, they need some rock. There's no. So, get a chance to look at them, where what they're doing now is they're going straight east of the dairy and then south. To feed down. They got cattle all over that. It's a mess. That road is, well, goes right through the dairy. We got the dairy, the road goes to the east 1 mile and it stops at Blacktop. Blacktop is held up really well. It's just like it was put in yesterday. But the gravel, it's got a lot of work to do. So, if you get a chance, you can put some rock on those roads, it would be appreciated.
We're working on that. And unfortunately, that rope that somebody must have developed many years ago, if you pull and open up the chute, the river spring road, you can't see the road along that. So, yeah, it's time to get all rock down.
You gotta find that rope.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of heat. I'll just tell them that whenever we get a chance, we'll get to it.
Hauling as hard as we can. Or to supplement that here shortly, so. I have records that it's more than. You need to do some shaping from the limit first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna haul 10 times more rock than we budgeted for, if we try to build everything with rock. So, we're trying to reshape the roads that we lost there 100 times first, and gather surface.
At least we don't have a bunch of frost blowing. I don't know, I haven't seen one yet this spring. I don't know where they went.
There might have been my own near that address, but I don't think so.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Any
Questions? Yes, I'm fine with that. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Myron.
All right. Yeah, back to the ARPA funding. I'm still leaning towards the simpler version. And we know what is going to probably go into it. But I'm leaning towards the simpler version. I'm gonna give you all both of them.
So what do we got, a motion?
That's my motion then, okay?
And that would be by resolution, so I'm gonna change the number, just by number of ones.
Okay.
You don't sign that one.
That's my motion for this version.
Yeah.
By resolution, right?
Where we're at. Here's that guy.
Him and I. And I like knowing what's in the hopper. I really do, what's in the works.
Well, I'll figure it out, and that's how I know too.
Yeah. And then I like to know, we'll be, we'll be on the final approval.
Yeah, whenever we took go to pay out of that, because they didn't put in there either, we did that clock tower, it was,
Well, it was on this one.
yep, but I mean, we've already paid that one too.
Yes.
So, but you guys approved it.
Okay, report. I had a gap. So I have to see about that.
How about, did you question, did he have any extra shekel left over to help with the Urbana guy with his gas?
I did.
And?
In fact, I did that right after the meeting there 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay.
And yes, they were reaching out and they were going to help with paying mileage.
Good. Cool.
Yeah. So that was a good, so that program was continued, obviously.
Good.
They throw rocks at us out there.
How about you, Gary?
And we lost, release of Western report.
Who was that with? Oh.
And that's your mental health one?
Yeah. We're going to, we had, mental health for younger adults. That's coming down the pike. But I don't, we didn't talk about it,
Where do they plan on doing it?
whatever. I don't know. I don't know much about it. It's just getting formed.
Okay.
Just normal meeting.
Well, I guess, last but not least, I had a busy week. Had ARPA in the afternoon, which you guys got some figures down. Wednesday, I met with, Mark Greenlee and Shelby out the Wildcat about what kind of sewer system we could put in for that bathroom. So we met with that. Met with the sheriff after that. Thursday, I had Easy Cog and Eastern Iowa Housing Development in the afternoon. Easy Cog, there wasn't too much going on about that. That was pretty well quiet. Eastern Iowa Housing is the time of year where they're getting a lot of requests for money to update different, kind of like senior citizen homes and individual homes that have some problems. So we awarded quite a bit of money for different projects.
Those are good projects. Many years ago, I was on the city of Benton, and they were doing that. And the wiring upgrades and the insulation, it was just things that was very, very good. Helped a lot of elderly people.
You know, I guess since I've been on this Eastern Iowa Housing, how things have changed, and I would say, my personal opinion, is for the better. When they come with estimates from the contractors to do the work on this, they really explain it now on paper. Before it was just a price.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I asked questions over the last few years. So now the contractors are doing, that makes me happy, what they're doing, what everything is, everything's broke down, how much it's gonna be.
That's the way it used to be when I was on city council. They would give you a list, and you could basically follow through
Yeah.
what outlets and how much insulation,
Yeah,
windows, et cetera.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I guess that's about it. And then, for, all the one thing, I think I gave you that before, Rick, how much money on Easy Cog that they got out for loans for businesses that started
I'd
out.
seen that, yeah.
Was that COVID stuff?
No, just for businesses themselves. This is their list and how much they borrowed, and how they're either accurate, and, I'd say 99% of them are current or paid off. There's a few that were.
You're always gonna get a
Yep,
few.
yep. So I know one of the deals that we okayed Saturday, or Thursday, and I gotta be politically correct. It was for a hairstylist in Cedar Rapids for African American ladies. We okayed the loan for her to start up a business. I think it's a good idea.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
That's what they said, there is no, quote, certain salon that,
Yeah, and not to, I'll just leave that alone, because, you know, well, what I was gonna say is, our granddaughter who was adopted from a meeting, our daughter will take 6 to 8 hours to do her hair. It is very time consuming. The texture of the hair, for example, it's much different.
so, and last but not least, when I wasn't at a meeting, I was down the hall here, so. But I did take Sunday off.
Well, it's a very good thing that weather hasn't been conducive to farming.
We'd rather it be though.
Well, of course, of course.
Okay, that's about it, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're done.